What is good with y'all, man? It's your boy Unseen coming back at y'all with another video. So today, we talking about loneliness, bro. We talking about being alone. Before this video starts, man, if you guys could drop a like for me, comment, subscribe for more content, bro. I've been trying to put out make some more videos. I've currently been slacking hard right now, so I've been trying to put out more videos for y'all. But yeah, man, if you guys could just drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more, I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel, man. So being lonely, obviously being lonely is personal to everybody. Everybody has their own unique experience with loneliness, whether it be through school, especially for kids growing up. Like if you're lonely, you don't get looked at the same as kids who are popular. It's the whole idea of popularity versus non-popular, and like lonely kids and unpopular kids. So being lonely as a kid is definitely something that is looked down upon. I'm not sure how in today's day and age, loneliness is viewed from the school perspective, because loneliness and being alone is starting to become accepted a lot more, thankfully. But as far as when I grew up, like loneliness it was always looked down upon, and you weren't considered the same as people who are at the top of the totem pole. My experience with loneliness is just more so, I felt like I've been alone my entire life. Like mentally, you can feel mentally like you're just not there, I'm sure if y'all have been mentally checked out of things, and mentally you're just not in the same headspace as somebody else. Even if someone else is in your presence, mentally you're still alone, and that's like one of the worst feelings. But I kind of view it as a good thing, because when you're alone mentally, like there's nobody that can affect you, and nobody that can really take your energy, man. There's no one that can feed off of that if you don't let them. And if you embrace your loneliness, if you embrace being the lone wolf, nobody can fuck with you. That's why I love it so much now. And yeah, I'm not saying like I want to be alone in every single circumstance. It's definitely healthy to have human interaction, whether it be with people who are woke or people who haven't woke up yet. Human interaction is human interaction at the end of the day. So I'm not just trying to bash that, but what I'm trying to focus on and bring light to is that loneliness isn't such a bad thing in the grand scheme of things. Whenever I'm lonely, or whenever I'm alone, I don't view it as I'm actually alone. When I first woke up, that's when I realized like I'm not fucking alone, man. Like in growing up throughout my life, obviously growing up I wasn't awoke yet. I woke up like last year. So throughout this whole time of growing up, I've been the unpopular kid, and I've also been in the groups with the popular kids, and I kind of flocked towards being in the groups that weren't so popular. Ironically, like I kind of flocked towards being in the groups that weren't so popular because I didn't give a fuck about it. And I almost enjoyed being unpopular because, once again, I just couldn't handle the energies of so many different people coming into my presence, intruding on my like being. I don't really vibe with that. When there's too much stuff going around, that's why like being in big cities and everything like that, I can't do that much. There's so much external stimuli around, like there's so many things going on, and for someone like me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people who have woken up, that's just too much for you to handle, because it's just an overload of information. But being alone, growing up, I always like kind of question. I'm like, why the fuck does no one fuck with me? And I did mention this in my first video, hence the name Unseen, once again alluding to that. Literally, this channel is embracing loneliness, being unseen, calling yourself unseen. Like that's embracing not being seen. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Like y'all can see how I'm exemplifying loneliness and embracing that, as opposed to a lot of people who just push it to the curb and don't really acknowledge it. I fucking embrace that shit wholeheartidly. And if you are someone that is usually alone and like hasn't been in a relationship or hasn't done any of those things, really, it's not like it's a bad thing, man. Like you should be fucking grateful. You should be thankful. You should love it, dude. Like I fucking love it. Now that I've woken up and kind of seen life from this new perspective that I've gained over the past 6-7 months, I kind of don't feel alone anymore, man. And that's the thing, is none of us are really alone. Even when there's nothing in your presence, there's still something, because the idea of nothing is something. Nothing can be something. Even if y'all aren't with that idea of nothing being something and that not doing is doing something, think about the things that are actually here with you but are just in a different realm, in a different dimension. Once you can gain access to those dimensions, you can see that you aren't alone. You got your guardian angels with you. You got your ancestors watching you. And that's where like this idea of loneliness kind of diffuses out for me once I woke up. It's not like I'm really alone. Like in this room, I can feel, when you feel energy, that's not loneliness. That's something. It may not be a person, it may not be someone in the third dimensional form, but it's something that is a feeling that's intangible, and you just know you're not alone. Like I can feel energy in this room. Like I know I'm doing something that I need to be doing. I know I'm doing something that is putting me on my purpose. Like that's what it's all about, man. That's what's motivating me to keep going with these videos, is knowing that I'm not alone, and knowing that like I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing this to wake up more people. I'm doing this to help humanity, man. Like that's what I'm really here for. And like that's kind of what this idea of loneliness, it doesn't fucking matter anymore, because there's no such thing as loneliness. Once you wake up, there's no such thing as loneliness. I swear, man. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Once you realize that you're not alone, you start to try to connect with those things, connect with those energies, those frequencies. You start to take care of yourself. You start to meditate and start visiting different realms. You start doing these things to connect you to the other side, the other world, the other dimension that you're trying to access, because you know that those things exist. You know that those things are constantly here. When you see repeating number patterns, you know you're not alone. You know that's, quote unquote God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe, whatever you want to fucking call it. You know that it's a presence that isn't in this physical form, but is existent. It's there. So that's what I mean with loneliness, man. Is it doesn't have to mean that there is no physical person there. And that's what society has made it out to be, because we all know society isn't woken up yet. Most of them have not woke up yet. So society is gonna make terms to be out. They're gonna make terms that cater to the third dimensional level. They don't make it out to be something that is spiritual and something that is the truth, because once again, you don't want to expose the truth to a bunch of people. If you told people that aliens existed and we have aliens, like type shit like that, who knows how the world would react. They're trying to hide a lot of this stuff, and I'm here to try to like shed some light on it and hopefully motivate y'all to move forward and go towards that. Just because somebody determines a definition of the word doesn't mean that that's actually the real thing. Keep that in mind. Keep your mind open to that. Loneliness is very, very subjective, simply because there's no such thing. Like, technically, there is no such thing as loneliness. The people who coined the term loneliness are people who haven't woken up. That's how you know. Because loneliness, even when there's no person around, there's still energy around. There's still things in the other dimensions that are around and can access this dimension. There's still something there. It's not like there isn't anything there. And that's why loneliness is fucking bullshit at the end of the day. To be honest, it's bullshit. Now that I think about it, it's bullshit. And I kind of just came to that revelation, as I'm making this video, ironically. It's fucking bullshit, because you go through your entire life thinking that, like, I'm lonely. If nobody's around, like, I'm lonely, that I'm not wanted. You're just not wanted by certain people. You're just not wanted by this dimension. You're not wanted in this realm, maybe. You're not meant to be in this realm, because we came from, our real home is not here. You were put here to experience these things, but your real home isn't here. When you're lonely, you're not meant to be here, man. And that's not a bad thing. Don't think of that as a bad thing. It just means that you were chosen. You were chosen to be someone special. But yeah, man, that's kind of my take on loneliness. I know it kind of was all over the place, including me talking about my upbringing, my how I am now, and also how I kind of view it in the overall sense. It kind of, once again, it's so complex because the term really shouldn't even exist at the end of the day. Once you wake up, the term doesn't exist. So, but I am acknowledging that. So that's what I mean, man. But if you guys like the video, man, be sure to drop a like for your boy. Comment if you know you've ever felt like lonely. Comment like your experiences with loneliness and maybe some revelations you've had about being lonely and some insight to help other people. Comment down below, and also be sure to subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel fucking grow so we can get this message to a bigger audience. I fuck with y'all, man. I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. It's been your boy Unseen. Peace.